Part of when you come here to this classroom, remember that I have told you that you are learning skills for just Mission View or for your life. For your life. If you are in a location, you are in a place where someone is talking, reading, what are you supposed to be doing? Playing with your pencil or having eye contact? It's really important that you have eye contact for your life, because when you get older and you're deciding to do what you want to do for your career, and you go off to that big school called a college, right? You can go there and you can learn tons of things out of a book, but if you can't get along with people and you're not respectful to people, nobody's going to give you a job. Okay, the other thing I want you to write down is this quote that we talked about. Sometimes it's the smallest decisions that can change your life forever. Remember that we said last time when you were here, I'm going to continue talking while people are finishing their quote. All drugs are medicines. True or not true? True. Write it down. All drugs are medicines. I already wrote that. Write it down again. And there's two different distinctions. Remember we said, raise your hand if you want to say something instead of yelling out. We said the way that you can tell the difference, Mija, I'm trapped back here, so you're going to have to scoot over a little bit. The way to tell the difference is if somebody is using them correctly. If I go to a doctor and I follow the instructions, I'm what? I'm what? If I do not follow the instructions, I'm then
What if you overdose? What if you give them to overdose? You use them and overdose.
I'm going to ring my bowl here that we light. If I am following instructions on a medicine and I'm using that correctly, if I'm your age and I have to ask my parent for an aspirin or something, because none of you should be going over to get any kind of medicines by yourself, I'm using that correctly. If I abuse a medicine or a drug, then I'm using it in the wrong way. Somebody over here asked, what if I sell my medicine to somebody? So if I sell my medicine to somebody, am I using a drug correctly or abusing it? Abusing it. If somebody abuses drugs, if I try to sell drugs or abuse drugs, it's against the law and the consequences are what?
Jail. Go to jail.
So sometimes it's the smallest decisions that can change your life forever. So hopefully by the end of our lesson, you're going to be making, Cedric, some personal promises, and we're going to be taking some ribbons out there and we're going to be tying them to the fence as a symbol of a promise that you're going to be making about the knowledge that you're getting today. Pretty soon, you're going to go to middle school, high school, and you're on the weekends, you're with your family, your brothers, your sisters. Every day you have decisions to make. True or not true? True. The smallest decision can change your life forever. Okay? So I want to talk about a couple of things and then we'll see how much time we have left. Okay? Part of my thinking brain says, Miss Liz, how come you're talking about this? Am I talking about it to scare you or because I want you to be knowledgeable? Knowledgeable. Okay. You need to try as much as possible to be crisscross applesauce because once you start moving, then everybody else starts moving. The other day I showed this picture to somebody and they said, Miss Liz, do drugs really like burn the inside of your body? Yes. Or do you think it was a symbol for something? Drugs and smoking hurts whose body?
Ours.
The person who does it. I have a question for you. Last time you were here, because I couldn't remember if it was this class or the other class, did we talk about ripple effect?
No. Yes. No.
You think to write down?
I think we did.
Write it down.
Ripple effect. We'll probably another class. I remember that.
Sorry, it's kind of messy. Ripple effect is super important. Ripple effect. You probably weren't here because you've been absent.
No, I mean.
No, probably not. But let's review it and maybe it'll come back to you. Cedric, you need to write that down. Ripple effect. If I go over to Kennedy Lake and I get a tiny little rock and I throw it into the lake here. Have you guys been to the lake?
Yeah. And then there's this. Yeah.
It makes
Ripple.
It makes ripples. It makes circles. If it's a tiny rock, ding.
I told.
What kind of ripples will there be?
Circle.
But a lot of them, or just a few?
A lot.
A few. If I get a big old boulder, and some of you help me, and we throw it in there,
Flash.
what kind of circles will we have?
A lot. Huge. Here's my leg froze.
Okay, and it could almost go to the end. Is that true or not?
Yes.
Okay. So ripple effect means almost the same thing as this. Every time you make a decision and a choice in your life, excuse me, every time you make a decision and a choice in your life, it affects one person, another person, something else, something else, something else, something else. Bigger, bigger. When you make a decision, let's say you're running in the hallway and a teacher comes around the corner and they say, is that like a big, big mistake or sort of a little one?
A little one.
Kind of a little one because you can fix it, right?
Yeah.
If I'm running in the hallway, I knock into him, knock into her, we all fall down, he breaks his arm, she hits her head, he, you know, starts bleeding. Is that a little problem or a big one?
Big.
Okay. So my small decision to run in the hallway now is affecting people, and there's consequences. Our parents have to be called. I have to go to the nurse. If we think that I was running on purpose to trip somebody because I'm mad at him, they might have to call the police. Do you see how the circles can get bigger and bigger and bigger?
Yes.
When somebody chooses to use drugs and substances, they're not just hurting themselves. They're hurting people in their
Family.
their mothers, their fathers, their friends, brothers,
Their children.
their children. Remember that all drugs cost money. If somebody is not using money to pay the rent, to buy clothes, to buy food, that means that somebody is not getting taken seriously or taken care of?
Yeah.
Taken care of. I'm going to show you this because this is really important. All of these things kind of look a lot like candy, don't they? But are they really candy?
No.
These are medications and drugs. Now, if it was in a prescription jar, again, if it's mine, I'm following the rules, I'm using it, then there's not a problem. But if somebody comes along and they're giving you that, then you need to be suspicious. Cedric, please put your pencil down now. Thank you. You need to be suspicious that number one, not only is it dangerous, number two, it's not candy. Look at this picture here at the bottom.
Oh, I see that in a movie.
Okay, can somebody tell me what the person is doing here?
The person is putting one of those things on his eye, to hold your blood. Yeah, to hold your blood.
Okay, and what is this
And
called?
a shot, and they're like putting in the drugs to go.
Okay, now think about it. A shot could be like medication, right?
Yeah.
Because if I go and get a flu shot, I mean, they might give it in my arm or it might fall in piece, and sometimes they put a thing in your nose now, I guess, to give some medications. Not a shot, it's like a spray.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. But do we think a doctor is giving this to this person?
No.
So are we suspecting that they're using it or abusing it?
Abusing.